Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Fantasy. What comes to mind when you hear this word? Magic, cartoons, imagination, or perhaps the life you've always wanted. Wow, everyone must have their own opinion. But today, we won't discuss how to acquire powers like in the movies. Instead, we will explore how fantasy influences the future and how imagination shapes reality. Well, the educators, this good opportunity, let me, Maya Vitiana from Darussalam Standard High School, Banyuwangi, to deliver my speech about how fantasy influences the future and how imagination shapes reality. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we often face life challenges in life, and sometimes we find ourselves in uncertainty. What does the future hold? We don't know for sure, but we can look for ways to understand and predict its direction. And do you know one powerful tool to help us? Yes, that is imagination. And this is where the fantasy genre plays a crucial role. Fantasy, with all its wonders and peculiarities, is not just entertainment. It serves as a window into possibilities we have never seen and a world beyond our boundaries. And here, I will discuss several reasons why fantasy influences the future and can be a catalyst for change. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first, fantasy allows us to envision new ideas and concepts. In the fantasy genre, we are introduced to the world free from the constraints of reality. From magical kingdoms to futuristic technologies, fantasy let us think of new ways to solve problems and create solutions. For example, the film Harry Potter introduces us not only to the world of magic, but also the concept about friendship, bravery, and discoveries that inspire life solutions. Well, second, fantasy can provide models for transformation. In this context, fantasy influences how we tackle obstacles and how we can change ourselves for the better. How does this happen? Many fantasy stories feature characters undergoing journeys from difficult situations to significant transformations. By following these character journeys, we learn about the power of change, adaptation, and overcoming challenges. Stories about heroes overcoming great obstacles can motivate us to handle our personal challenges. Third, fantasy sparks creativity and innovation. When writers and readers engage with imaginative worlds, we often think outside the box and generate new ideas. Innovation, design, and art sometimes originate from free imagination. For instance, the film Star Trek inspired the creation of tablet computers. But guys, we can start with small steps. Have you ever seen the cartoon Upin and Ipin in the episode about fish? Well, I hope you know about it. It helps us to understand the state of fish in the ocean when waste is dumped into it. This cartoon could inspire us to not litter in the sea and to find ways to manage waste. A future with unmanaged waste is not a beautiful future, right? Well, fourth, fantasy conveys social and moral messages. You might wonder, do another genres also impart moral lessons? What makes fantasy unique? Yes, every genre has the potential to provide moral messages. But fantasy has unique qualities that contribute specifically to this context. Fantasy often uses allegory and symbolism to convey moral lessons, which are less commonly used in other genres. Additionally, the emotional range of stories involving heroes, villains, and unusual worlds can make moral messages more impactful and memorable. Fantasy also